The man accused of killing Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband and shooting Senator John Hoffman and his wife has now been indicted by a county grand jury. Michelle Beck is in the newsroom breaking down the charges for us. Michelle.
Well, hey there, Jason. I'm counting 8 new charges in state court, which Vance Belter would face after his federal case is finished. The most serious of those charges includes 2 counts of first-degree murder for the killings of Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. A Hennepin County grand jury also indicted Belter on 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder. That's for allegedly trying to kill State Senator John Hoffman, his wife Yvette, their daughter Hope, and the 4th person being Representative Kristen Bonner of Maple Grove. As federal officials said before, Bonner was not home when the accused political assassin stopped there, too. The Hennepin County attorney says Belter showed enough intent to kill her in his notebook writings and actions.
Our community here in Hennepin County. These were people who were public servants who represent us, and we feel it's important to hold Belter accountable for what he did in this county.
The last 2 charges Belter now faces are impersonating a police officer and animal cruelty for shooting the Hortman's dog. Jason.
5 law enforcement officers were shot. 3 police officers were killed, 2 deputies being treated for their wounds. The suspect has also died. We have Caitlin Smith, who is live right now at the Northern York County Regional Police Department. She is following a memorial that is there outside the department and people who have come to pay their respects. We also have some breaking news with new information that we have just learned about what happened before the shooting happened at the house yesterday. Let's get that information now. News 8 got the court documents that show that police were called to the home on Har Road on North Codorus Township late Tuesday night. This is a live look at that home right now. A woman who lives there told police that a man wearing camo and with an AR-15 style rifle slung over his shoulder was peering into her windows using binoculars. That man, who is identified in the documents as Matthew Ruth, is the ex-boyfriend of the woman's daughter. The daughter told police that she thinks that Ruth set her truck on fire at the house in August. She told police that Ruth was never invited to the home. Police went to that home around midnight on Tuesday to look for Ruth in response to this call. The documents say they found his truck parked near the woods, but say after looking for him for hours, they did not find him. State police have not identified Matthew Ruth as the shooter, but at a news conference yesterday, they said officers went back to the house yesterday afternoon to continue their investigation. We know from state police that at that time, the 5 law enforcement officers were shot. CNN is reporting they were ambushed by someone hiding in a nearby cornfield, and that one of the sheriff's deputies shot and killed the shooter. We continue our coverage here with Caitlin Smith live at the police department.
Yeah, we're here at the Northern York County Regional Police Department in Manchester Township because it was 3 of these officers who were shot and killed during this. And people have been coming out this morning to pay their respects. There's a growing memorial here. We can show you some video of it. One sign says, "End of watch, RIP." There are also flags involved. And Trisha Davenport, who lives nearby, also stopped by this morning.
These are my police officers. I don't know them personally, but they serve and protect all of us around here, so my heart goes out to all of them.
So Trisha Davenport tells us that she works in the WellSpan health system, not at the hospital where those 2 sheriff's deputies are listed in critical but stable condition. She works at Philhaven, but because she's still part of the WellSpan system, she says that she did get an alert during this situation, and she says the reason for that alert, it's part of an upgraded security protocol that the hospital now has following the death of West York Borough officer Andrew Duarte in February. And again, many people have been coming out here this morning to put down flowers. We now have roses and flags added to this. And as we've been standing here in just the last couple of minutes, people are still coming and going. And I'm sure this won't be the only memorial to those fallen heroes.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Urcha HaKwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to the other elders, you brethren, you fellow believers of this truth. Shalom to you, few sisters. Shalom to you, supporters of this truth. Shalom and peace to the elect. So anyway, this video was funneled through me, through Judah Tribe, to this brother here, Taylor House Publishing. He goes in these videos like this because it's such an outrage when they show Trump holding pictures up at the Ukraine, with that situation with the Ukrainian women, that Ukrainian young lady, and the so-called black man. And it's for said that it's AI, it was sketchy or whatever, but still, even out of that, you had a lot of retaliations when it come to this. So you can know things are ramping up. So you had Trey Reed, who was hung, and then there was another guy that was hung. So the lynchings have started back up. They're both foul play. If a so-called black man kills a white person, it's racism, but when a young black man is lynched, it's suicide, and people forget about it. When both of them, that young so-called black man that was killed by the white police woman, so-called white, and she said she went into the wrong house, but I doubt if Brad Pitt was sitting in there that she would have pulled the trigger, right? And then the judge, the so-called black woman judge, gets up to hug the murderer and the murderer's brother, hug the murderer. So you see how docile we've become. That if vice versa, if a so-called black man kills a white woman, it's a what did he say? It's a face of evil. So what happens when the white man kills other white men? They're not the face of evil? This is crazy stuff. And they're trying to avoid it and hide it. This is what they do. Well, we're going to read a couple of scriptures. You get a Lil Wayne character comes in there with tattoos and grimy, who's killed some innocent white man or woman. He's plastered up for the internet for all to see. He's on CNBC. He's on all the local channels. But these kind of videos is kind of hitting on other local little channels. They're not making a big deal of this. You don't see Trump holding pictures up saying this is the face of evil. They don't do that. Deuteronomy 30:7. It says, this is what it says. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So you see that all the curses and the hell that's come upon us, now you're seeing it happen to them. I remember maybe 10 years ago I did a video on drug addiction in the white communities. Got a lot of views, right? And they wanted to put a war and a stop on drugs because it was killing the community, the white community. All kind of white women who lost their children, strung out in the streets, and they had to do something about it. They brought it to high media attention. But so-called black people that get killed in the streets, yeah, they're dropping dead from overdoses. They publish it on the news, but there's no media help and outrage cry to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Black on black crime it's all Jake killing and shooting each other. Genocide, that's not on the hate list. And the same very people who promote it and produce it in these movies like Lionsgate and Sony, no, the support of that kind of behavior, that's not listed as well as in far as the hate. In a hate group, the ADL doesn't say anything about that. That is crazy, but this is how it goes. Psalm 7:16. His mischief, which means high level of evil, shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealings shall come down upon his own pate. Which, this is what we say about Old English. They'll say one thing 3 different ways, and it'll be still the same thing. So when it said his own head, his own pate, It's the same thing. That's an example of Isaiah 49. Go to the lineages of Jacob and then go teach the Gentiles. Light to the Gentiles. So that all goes together. I'm just throwing that in there. But for the most part, his mischief shall return upon him, his own head, and his violent dealings shall come down upon his own pate. Let me see if there's more on that. Let me go up a little bit to verse 9th chapter. Psalm 7 and 9. Oh, let the wicked of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just for the righteousness. The righteous God trieth the hearts and the reins. My defense is of God, and saved the upright in heart. God judgeth the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. Right? If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He shall bend the bow and made it ready. Let me go on down. He have also prepared for him instruments of death, and ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Right? So ultimately, when this is the beginning of the downfall of Esau, which has been going on. But ultimately, all nations are going to come against Esau, and they're going to turn on one another. As the scripture says, can Satan cast out Satan? Right? They're going to turn against one another. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealings shall come down upon his own pate. I will praise the Lord according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of the Lord Most High. Right? So it says, I will praise the Lord according to his righteousness. So this is why at the end of the day, people tell us we're not supposed to wish the downfall of other nations and people. You damn right we're supposed to. Damn right we're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? They've done enough. They've literally destroyed us from inside out, broken homes, fed us garbage media, right? Garbage education, reintroduced, more sickness, more, of these things that they give us. You know what I mean? Like over this thing that happened, the jump shots and all that. Constantly just poisonous, constantly just destroying our vibration as a people. And then when we act out on it, and we're posted up because we bugged out and gone crazed, then they say, see, look at these people. They're crazed maniacs. But see, the Lord has made a intervention, intervening, where he's switching everything. No doubt Jake is going to be bugged out, but you see these Edomites, they're going to start losing their own minds, man. Because the life that was promised to them, the way it was promised to them, they're finding out it's false. It's not the true life that they thought they had, Anyway, down his own pate means his crown of his head. To come down, to go down, to descend. Let me get this one real quick. Isaiah 14:11. The pomp is brought down to the grave, right? And the noise of the vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. This is talking about the whole desecration of Babylon, right? The demise of Babylon. The music, the media. Now we use the media as a powerful tool to to extract certain things that works according to the truth. But the majority of media is garbage. The majority of media is garbage. The music, the television, the shows, the life, the infrastructures. Every time you turn around, it's road closures and detour signs. Every time you turn around, it's more confusion. Nobody know what laws to pass. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're eating. You don't know what you're drinking. When I came up, it wasn't such thing as plastic holding water. We had glass, and we got hydrated pretty well. I mean, it's so horrible that you have what you call organic water and foods, but then you go in the store and they have sections that don't say non-organic or whatever that is. So if that's organic or whole food, what is the rest of the stuff? I mean, it goes on and on. You know, it's just crazy. Let's go here. Isaiah 41:11. Like I said, if this was a Jake, that shit would be plastered all over the news. And I guarantee you these guys are Christian by faith. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those Christian nationalists are actual terrorists. That guy Charlie Kirk, he was a Christian nationalist. Well, you know, the Christian nationalists, they were the ones that spawned the out of the Protestant church, the Klan. Right? They the ones spawned them. And they believe that blacks were meant to be slaves because of the curse of Cain. But now you're seeing these same people, I don't know if they're Christian nationalists or not, but yeah, remember Trump and they stormed the White House and all that? So now they're looking at them as enemies, you know, political figures as enemies. So now they're turning because they see the demise of their country. They see it all falling apart. That's what it is. Isaiah 41:11. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. Let me get a translation that's more understandable. I know what it means, but NIV. All who rage against you will surely be ashamed and disgraced. Those who oppose you will be as nothing and perish. And this is actually talking about the other nations and even our people. Only the elect will have this understanding and will be saved and delivered, you know. But we can apply it as these other nations because all of them had their hand in it, and they wish nothing but to see our downfalls. And the media promotes this, and we know who runs that, the small hat cheap suits. So we know who runs that. They're the ones who promote it. They're the ones who promote gangsterism and killing. They promote the alphabet crew. You know, they promote all these things. When the white man does it, it's hidden. It's on back news articles and, you know, so forth and so on. It's not quick to hit Yahoo or Google or whatever, Google and whatever else. Anyway, you can see that the hypocrisy in Esau, and you can't hide it. In fact, the small hats, they got problems too with addictions and drugs. You know what I'm saying? They got all kinds of stuff going on, but the media only wants us to be the boogeymen. So-called black man is the boogeyman. We're the face of evil according to these guys, but they got nuclear missiles and bombs. Right? They've dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and it was supposed to be somewhere else. And originally they were supposed to drop it somewhere before Hiroshima, if I'm not mistaken. So they say. And people's shirts with their designs burned into the concrete. That is a face of evil, man. Right? After World War I, the Spanish flu. And we all know what happened with that and who was responsible for that. That is a face of evil. And ultimately, it's all the Lord, man, using these sick people to do what they do. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.